Today we are going to be talking about LibKey Nomad, which is a wonderful addition to the library. Pretty much since the beginning of time, librarians have always said in order to access anything from the library, especially articles, you have to go through the library website. Well, now we have what's called LibKey Nomad, which is a browser add-on, which is basically it's configuring. It's just a small configuring for a for Chrome and Firefox browsers that allows you to get access to library articles wherever you are. So I just want to start at the very beginning and how do you find information on that? So from the main library page, if you go to guides, we have a subject guide on virtual access in case you ever struggle with accessing virtually, especially now with COVID hitting. And we have a tab specifically for LibKey Nomad. And in order to get started, I already have it installed on Chrome, but I am going to go ahead and show you how to do it live. It's very simple. When you're on LibKey Nomad, if you go to the download page here, and I'm actually going to put this in chat for everyone too, so you have access to this. Let's go back to the chat. Okay. So this is our starting position. So if you scroll down, you can see that it has, if you're in Chrome, click on the Chrome button. If you're in Firefox, click on Firefox. And like I said, I already have it in Chrome, but I don't currently have it in Firefox. So I'm going to click on my Firefox, and you can see here it pops up and add to Firefox. I will allow it to give it permissions, and this little box pops up. So I type in Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, and it saves my library selection. And now LibKey Nomad has been added to Firefox, and it's going to start working for you. We always want to look for this little green flame, and I'm going to show you what it looks like live. So its real advantage is when you have an article that you already have. So say somebody sends you an article link and all you have is the DOI. And so before you would have to open it up, see, okay, this is my article, and then you might have to search for this on the PCOM website. Well, now I'm looking for my green flame right here, and without even going to the library website, I can click on the flame, and it will ask you to log into the library website. This is just our Open Athens 1 sign-on. So it's verifying library access without going to the library website. This is amazing. It saves you guys a lot of steps. And that's just if you had, for example, that DOI. I'm going to show you another example. So here I want to go straight to this vaccine reports. It's just a specific journal. And as you can see, I went to it through Google. I did not go to the library website. I happen to know that, yes, PCOM does have access to it, however. And if I click on the article, this particular one, I just realized in hindsight is an open access one, but what you would be looking for is this article link. They are almost, these pop-ups are almost always going to be on the bottom left corner. And they work as long as PCOM has access to the article. The other real advantage to them is that if PCOM doesn't have access to the article, so here's another, let me just close this out so I remember that I already went through that example. You're always looking for that green flame here. So here's an example where PCOM does not have access, but when you click on it, Apparently it's being a little slow today. It takes you straight to our interlibrary loan request form. So we can still get access to the article. And I'm going to click on this and log in so you guys can see the process from start to finish. And for those of you who might not have ever put in an interlibrary loan, back up one step, is that if you can always set up an account by clicking on this first-time users. This is something that we give to all current faculty and staff and students at PCOM. You should never, ever have to pay for an article. If you are encountering what we call a paywall, which is where they're asking you to pay for an article, normally you would see this if you did not have LibKey Nomad. But now we can circumvent that so you don't see that. And so now I have my article requested right here. I'm actually going to cancel the request because I don't actually want the article. But as you can see, it's very seamless from start to finish with article requesting. Okay. I actually did want to go back to, this is again our page here, and just to show you the Nomad buttons explained. There's a download PDF. If there's not a PDF available, but there might be an HTML article, it would read article link. Sometimes for open access, it will just say manuscript, PDF, or link. Access options, again, this is for interlibrary loan. And they do sometimes have a button for if you want to browse the table of contents of the article. So that's one example here. Okay, I just showed the interlibrary loan. Oops. Restart. Okay, this is another article I wanted to show. Oops. Sorry, I have to go back to my pre-selected links. Sorry that it timed out on us. So here we get a notification for article link, and sometimes it's not quite as seamless as we'd like. This is because we have a lot of different vendors and they all don't play nicely. However, it does work. It's just one extra step. If you click on View Article on EBSCOhost, it should pull up our article for us. And here we go. Here is our article. So again, the main advantage to LibKey Nomad is that you do not need to go through the library website to get articles. I will go ahead and state for the record that I do recommend still going to the library if you need to be doing any searching. And one of the reasons why is that everything on the library website has been curated. Our resources, most of them are peer-reviewed articles. So pretty much everything you can find through the library website, you know, is already going to be trustworthy. I do want to go ahead and show Google Scholar because we are aware that this is a resource that everyone uses. And even if you're just searching straight through Google Scholar, it still works. I did a very simple search, cancer treatment, mostly just to show you the results. And again, here on the bottom left corner, I get a download PDF. And we have our pop-up article for the PDF. I did want to go ahead and mention that LibKey Nomad works on all sorts of vendors. I would never recommend using Wikipedia, this is Wikipedia, as a direct resource. However, sometimes the articles, the references on Wikipedia are themselves good resources to read. And you can see here, we have everything from access to the direct article here to this would again be an interlibrary loan request. Article link. most likely this is just going to be an HTML. Yep, subject cookie, as opposed to a PDF. In and of itself, LibKey Nomad is pretty simple. It does offer a lot of advantages, especially as we are working from home. I'm going to head and stop sharing my screen and check back in. Does anyone have any questions or want to see anything specifically with how it works? Fred, I'm sorry, I can see that you are talking, but you are currently muted.
Okay, I hit the wrong unmute button. I think the answer to this is yes. But when we go in to create a new password, that's going to be specific for this site, right? That's not going to infect our other password entry, because there's been a lot of security changes. So I'm sure the answer is yes. There's going to be no overlap. But
so the nice thing about this is that it interfaces directly with the password that you already have, which is the library password. So you don't need to create a password with it. Literally, all you do is say that you are affiliated with the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, and it takes you to the already created password site.
Okay.
So no extra passwords.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Jane, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jane, you're still muted.
Mine's a two-parter. So by the library password, do you mean the same as our network password, which I just had to change, or the one that's like ProQuest? Just our regular network password?
Thank you for the clarification. Yes, it is your network password.
Makes
It
sense.
works.
I just wanted to check. And does this work for lay press like Wall Street Journal or anything like that? Because I get those articles shared sometimes because it's about medicine or whatever, and you can't always read them without a subscription.
That's a really good question. So Wall Street Journal is a subscription that we have through PCOM. I haven't actually checked. I might have to check. I can check and I'll get back to you on that specifically.
And then some of the other big ones, like, the LA Times, I think it's called, and, and some of the other New York Times, Washington Post, that sort of thing, especially Washington Post for government and funding and things like that. So I was just wondering if LibKey Nomad links to any of those that aren't necessarily part of a whole service.
Most of what I think it really links to are journal articles specifically. And like I said, I'll have to get back to you whether it's also linking to newspapers.
Okay, but it's true that sometimes it's not part of our existing subscription, so it's really helpful to have LibKey Nomad. Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm sorry if I butchered it. Moaf, can you please, is that how you say it?
Right. Just really, if you don't mind, it was really
Sure.
quick and I came maybe like 30 seconds to a minute late, but it's just basically downloading the extension and then going through the process, and that's all.
Right. So let me just share my screen again with you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. So you can actually see it in these screenshots here, but you go to our download page, click on whichever browser you are currently in. This, you would click on either add to Chrome or add to Firefox, depending on what browser you are in. And then this pop-up box will appear. And not to be confusing, because it does have Philadelphia College up on top, but you do need to select your institution. And then once you get this green box for library selection saved, you are good to go. It should be live.
Awesome.
Did that answer your question?
You did. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Perfect. David, go ahead. I'm sorry, David, you are muted currently.
Sorry. How do you get to the download page?
Right. I will show you that too from the beginning. The download page, let me go back from the library website so we start from the very beginning. If you go to library.pcom.edu, on the guides page, if you click that pull down menu and click on virtual access, there is a specific tab for LibKey Nomad. And then the downloads page is actually this link right here, which actually, let me go ahead again and put this in the chat for ease and convenience. Did that answer your question? Okay, awesome. Philip, go ahead.
Yeah, I was a minute late, so I was actually downloading and installing when you were mentioning what the benefit was for the article request for interlibrary loan. And so I was trying to get rehear the main point of that, because I use that quite often.
Okay, so the point is that you can find an article and say you access the article without even going to the library website. LibKey Nomad, if we have the article, it takes you straight to the article. If you don't have the article, it takes you straight to the interlibrary loan page. So it's seamless of getting access for you, whether it's through interlibrary loan or just directly through the PDF or the HTML.
And did I see, was like the interlibrary loan sheet already populated with the key information then?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Great.
Any other questions? I know this was a quick demonstration. The great thing about it is that it is quick to set up. It's pretty easy to learn. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer questions even after. Let me go ahead and put in my email address right there.
Megan, this is Barbara.
Yes.
Can you show where the extension is located on the browser so people know that the extension is there?
Sure. Share my screen. So in Chrome, let me just wait for it to load. You can actually see Chrome has an extensions on the top left. And again, we always look for the little green flame. And this is where it is in Chrome. In Firefox, it pops up similarly, also on the top right. Okay. Did that answer your question, Barbara?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Megan, so let's say you're just searching Google, or let's say you're searching the American Library Association. That will also link out to articles to which we have subscriptions. So it's not just Google and Wikipedia, it's any kind of searching that you're going to be doing.
It should. However, this is still a fairly new resource, fairly new being about a year old. And as we all know, when technology works perfectly, it's amazing and great, and it's a great time saver. And when it doesn't work, it can be frustrating. So I will say that if you ever find an article that this does not work for you, please contact us at the library. We will make sure we will get your article to you one way or the other. It's just a matter of how seamless it is.
Thank you.
And I saw Barbara just put in a survey link into the chat. If you wouldn't mind filling us out, this helps us make sure we continue offering quality programs to you, and also what else you would like to hear about from the library. If we would greatly appreciate your feedback.
What's the name of the program we just attended?
It's called LibKey Nomad. If it helps, it's when you're a nomad away from the library website, it's a key to library resources. At least that's my theory on why they named it like that. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.